Basically, if you look at the traditional practices going with the local seeds and using their own crops and cultivars for the cultivation, it has been basically grown by the tribal communities. If you take in a scenarios of the Odisha or Maharashtra, grown by tribal communities, and basically this is under the low input management scenarios. Inputs utilized are very low. It is basically been told that, or it's been understood that millet has been grown on areas where the land is not suitable for the crops like cotton or the some cash crops or the cereal crops. In those patches, basically we have seen the millet has been grown predominantly. And the method of establishment is mostly the broadcasting with the intervention of the SAUs and then the state governments policies like the Assam Millet Mission, Odisha Millet Mission, Chhattisgarh Millet Mission. I think there is a lot of awareness has been happened and the people are moving toward the transplanting. Line sowing is a big challenge actually because the availability of the machinery and other thing is a concern. In next slide I will be talking about that. But basically if you look at there is a need for millet intensification based on the suitability. We need to identify the suitable areas for the promoting the millets as a part of the intensification. A classic case is a introduction and promotion of proso millet in the states of Bihar. They are starting cultivation the proso millet, which is just 65 days crop. With the line sowing, the machinery has been used. They are promoting in a huge way since 3 years they started, and then last year they are taking it in large scale. So I think that is something which we have to target, find out the niche areas, suitable areas for that. And as I mentioned, the FOMR compost, this is basically been used as a part of the management practice. So as mentioned that Odisha Millet Mission, the pioneer in the areas for millet promotion, and then the other states, Assam and then Chhattisgarh, they have started. Bihar has been as a part of their the fourth roadmap towards the agriculture development. They also included millet into their components. Next. So we were in the earlier slide I mentioned that there are the areas, the blocks are being saturated, the potential blocks are saturated as a part of the Odisha Millet Mission with the different the millets, suitable millets. But the constraints in establishment, particularly line sowing, is the availability of the machineries. So to my understanding, this is the basic constraint. That's how the farmers, the innovative farmers or progressive farmers are going with the transplanting, but the line sowing is a constraint. These are a couple of the machineries available. First one, left side, which ICRISAT along with the Punjab Agri Universities and land force we have developed. This is called as magic planter, which could be also used in the conservation agriculture field. The right side one is the machine which basically can seed as much as 800 gram seed per acre. And we know most of the millets, we need a seed of 1.5 to 2 kg per acre. This right side machine basically is best fit for the sowing the millets. And line sowing, if we intend to promote, I think this machine will be a good promise. This is some of the work what ICRISAT with the government of Odisha under Odisha Livelihood Mission project we are doing. We clear cut know that if we improve the varieties, go with the improved varieties and go with the soil test based recommendation. Basically the farmers now with the initiatives from the state and then the universities like OUT, lot of awareness has been created. We see that there is a 20 to 22% increase in the productivity with only when we follow the soil test based recommendation, focusing not only major but the secondary and the minor nutrients as well. Next please. So the Indian scenarios where we are depending upon either broadcasting or the transplanting. Now look at the African scenarios. Next. So this is the case from the Mali where the rainfall is an issues. The soils are more with the sandy nature. The issues of establishment is a big challenge where the farmers are practicing the microdosing. Excuse me. Farmers are practicing a microdosing. So what is microdosing? The application
Sir, please complete into 1 minute.
1 minute. Application of the fertilizers towards the base of the plant. Okay. So this has gained a momentum in the African countries. Next. Another thing nowadays in Niger, the transplanting of the pigeon pea, which is a common practice in the progressive parts of the India, is there. This has been started in Niger, where people have started to go for the transplanting, and it has the most important advantage apart from increase in the productivity is the duration of the crop decrease from 74 to 61 days. Basically, the window what is been available, that itself help in enhancing the productivity. Now, what we can learn from the work done in African countries is the following the landscape approach in the promoting any our management practices. This is the case for landscape specific nutrient management, a case from Ethiopia where the nutrient management is done at the landscape areas. We followed the cluster approach of 2,000, 3,000 hectare areas where crop specific, soil specific recommendation have been promoted. And if you look at into the graph, actually when we go with the landscape rate and then with the extension recommendation, the productivity is very high on all the most of the crops. Next. Odisha mission, Millet Mission is following the right path where the premium price and all is been guaranteed. Next. So what we need to do is nutrition security is important. People are gaining the awareness. We need to identify the niche areas, prioritize the areas for promoting the millets, prioritize the cultivars for promoting the millets, and have the alternate options like introduction of the suitable machineries and the practices and the landscape approach. I think this is the key what we can take it forward to promote the millet areas and enhance production of the millets in the country. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Gajanan, for your insight into the sharing your experiences, a comparison approach for India and Africa. So, before going for the next presentation, there is a small announcement for the farmers. There will be some questions. मैं पचारि प्रश्न चाषी मानू जो मैंने कहे तांको प्राइज अच्छी एटी मांडियार भेराइटी ना कहतु गोटे भेराइटी ना कहतु चाष जो कर चाषी मान कहतु
चकोले पिठा
ना नहीं चाष करा जो बिहन बिहन किसम कहतु चाषी चाषी माने
अर्जुन मांडिया
थैंक यू धन्यवाद दियंतु ताको प्राइज आ गोटे क्वेश्चन चाषी मान मरुड़ी सहनी शक्ति धान ना मांडिया कहार अधिका अच्छी चाषी चाषी जड़े किए कह
मांडिया
आपण निजर ना कहीकि कहतु नले पुरस्कार दि जाओ केमिति हाथ टेकिबे आमे ताकू देखिकरी जहा को माइक दो
गोला पीसी मांडिया मांडिया
मांडिया रु तयारी होतबा भौणी माने कहबे मांडिया रु तयारी होतबा खाद्यर गोटे ना कहतु
चकुली पिठा टिकिरी टिकिरी
आ गोटे कहतु
टिकिरी
बहुत सहजिया क्वेश्चन हे जाउछ
अच्छा मांडिया चाष रे एकर को केते
बिहन
बिहन दरकार केते कहतु
गोटे किलो रु 1.5 किलो
1 केजी
अच्छा के कहले ना कहतु पैसा
गोला पीसी एसएमआई बाय 1 केजी सर एसएमआई
मु गोटे प्रश्न मो तरफ रु पचारुची मु जान नै आपन मानको प्राइज मिलियो कि नाही प्रश्न हला ओडिशा सरकार 4टी चाषींकर किसम को रिलीज कले तादर गोटिए ना एटलिस्ट कहतु हाथ टेकिबे आमे ना आमे पचारले आपण कहबे 4टी देशीय किसम को ओडिशा सरकार ताकू विकसित कले ता देहरु गोटिए ना कहतु आ चाषी भाई माने कहले आमे खुशी हबु सरकारी अफसर माने टिके पछुक रहि जान
कालिया कालिया
कालिया
आउ के कहबे आउ के कहबे
भारती मामी मामी
आउ के कहबे
कोरापुट चाषी माने के आछंती
कालिया उंडी मामी भैरवी
नहीं भैरवी तो
कालिया भैरवी ओयोटी रिलीज वैरायटी
कालिया सेटा नो कालुआ
कालुआ
गोटे बाटी मांडिया ना शुणी ता संगे आउ तीन टा जदि आमर डॉक्टर एमपी नायक कि सनत कह ये पवित्र नहीं कि आउ तीन टा सर कहबे आपण कहबे पचारंतु
आउट ब्रेक दवा
ठीक है
वर्तमान आमे जीवा नेक्स्ट प्रेजेंटेशन मैडम भारती मांड्या कृष्णा बेनी
Good afternoon, everybody. I am from DDS, Deccan Development Society. We are working with the millet farming communities. We are working with the millet farming communities since 3 decades, and after last 15 years we are we formed a millet network of India with the millet cultivating communities across the country from 8 states. We have partners and members of this. Basically, I just want to give the description of the cultivation practices in our region, Deccan region. We cultivate, for us, millet is not a single crop, it is a concept. We cultivate millets all together with pulses and oil seeds in a single acre. 20 to 30 varieties of crops we reap every year. And most of the farmers in Deccan region have the red soil, and which is not suitable for any other crops. So when we have realized that the food security and other securities are with the millets, so we started promoting millets in our communities to grow in biodiverse practice. And in this biodiverse practice, they achieve more securities, food security, fodder security, and soil nutrient security, and many more are there. Though this type of cultivation is not suitable for the commercial process, and it is downlooked by the agriculture scientists maybe, but it never failed to give the food security at household level. They never being called millets as climate resilient and powerhouses of nutrients, still the cultivation is declining day by day, not day by day, year by year, and it is almost declined by 50% now in India. Even though it is climate resilient, if it is cultivated in a monocrop or homogenized pattern, then it will face the same scenario of the rice and wheat. So we promote our through our farmers to cultivate in biodiverse farming. So in this, under this biodiverse farming, they won't. It is not that they get only the food. Apart from the food, while weeding the crops, they get the greens, uncultivated greens, which are nutritious and iron-rich food. So in many ways, it is providing them the security. So when calculating or evaluating the crop production value of the millet, we just recommend to the officials and governments to take into the count of the because they are not using any chemicals or any fertilizers, they are not destroying any environment, and they are not consuming any resources apart from and they have their own seeds, and they are not dependent on anybody, organization or any agency for the seed. They keep their seed at their home. So and because of the traditional cultivation, the seeds are available till now. Otherwise, they might have wiped out from the face of the earth, and maybe we have to recognize them as the custodians. We already recognize them as the custodians of the millet seeds, but at the larger level, if they given many specific incentives or anything for apart from the support price, or then they continue to do this practice, and they conserve the seeds for the future generation. And there are many, we have many issues in cultivating the millet, because now everybody recognize it and want to eat the millet, but now for us it is very difficult to restore the millet in poor people's plate, because government is not encouraging them and not giving them the food, and they are selling off the millet grain and consuming the wheat and rice provided through the PDS. So we have asked the government to give the into PDS, and we have succeeded in this, and we look forward for the more incentives and more better opportunities for the biodiverse cultivating millet farmers. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you, madam. बर्तमान स्टूडेंट मान क्वेश्चन किसी स्टूडेंट एपटे अच्छा आमर मांडियाटा चाउल टू कौन पे अधिका पोषण तत्व कौन रही से अधिका से आम कहे खावा दरकार मेडिसिनाल वैल्यू कौन अच्छी से पिलाने कहतु दीपटे अच्छा मांडिया खाया कौन कहीं कहे से कौन न्यूट्रिशन अधिका अच्छी से
आयरन अधिका अच्छी
हाँ
प्रोटीन अधिका अच्छी कैल्शियम अधिका
तम ना को
शुभम मिश्र
हाँ को स्कूल कौन कॉलेज तम परिचय दियो
स्कूल रो नुहे सर हमें
हाँ कौन तम परिचय दियो
सर आई एम नॉट स्टूडेंट सर
आम पिला क्वेश्चन पिला पिला ना कह
एंटीऑक्सीडेंट और कैल्शियम
गुड 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 धन्यवाद
आई थिंक द मोस्ट बिफिटिंग आंसर
अच्छा गवर्नमेंट ऑफिसर्स माने अछंती बार्नयार्ड मिलेट रो साइंटिफिक ना कहतु गवर्नमेंट ऑफिसर्स बार्नयार्ड मिलेट साइंटिफिक नेम ऑफ बार्नयार्ड मिलेट
एलुसेन कराकन
नहीं ये तो रागी रागी इलेक्शन करा करना
इकाई नुकलो
मैडम आपण पे नुह गवर्नमेंट
सर एकिनोक्ला एस्कुलेटर
थैंक यू हां दियो प्राइस दियो
की कहला सोमनाथ सोमनाथ सोमनाथ
अच्छा चासी मान को आ गोटे प्रश्न ऑफिसर को दिया एडा ऑफिसर में
थैंक यू समस्त ताली करताली दे
चासी मान को आ गोटे प्रश्न पांचटा मिलेट रो ना कहतु
का भाई क्वेश्चन
मांडिया को छाड़ी करी को के चासी मान को हां कहतु जेटी हाथ व्हाइट शर्ट कहतु
बाटी बाटी मांडिया
हाँ
भैरवी मांडिया उंडी मांडिया
ना ना मांडिया नुह मांडिया गोटे
कूदो कूदोर
हाँ सुआ
हाँ गुजी
कुजी
बाजा
बाजा ठीक अच्छे तांको प्राइस दियो
थैंक यू
चाषी भाई भौणी को पचारुची ये जो आलोचना है ता ऊपर कौन मतामत देवे से जो चाष करुँच चाष संबंध में जदि किसी कहू चाहूँ किसी सुविधा असुविधा अच्छी आमर वैज्ञानिक माने बस उत्तर देवे मिलेट चाष मांडिया कि सुआ चाष जो करुँच विहन उपरे बा जो चाष करुँच सार दौरान तार उपरे कौन पचार अच्छी आपणकर मतामत देवे कौन
जमते आमर बरगढ़ डिस्ट्रिक्ट रे पदमपुर साइड रे बेसी करी आमर मांडिया चाष होची किंतु आमर बरगढ़ डिस्ट्रिक्ट रे मांडिया चाष होउनी बरगढ़ अताबरा ब्लॉक ए धान चाष बेसी कहीं सेटे पानी रो बेसी तो सेठी केमिति करी हेबो पानी बेसी तो कम पानी जेहेतु लागे କମ୍ ପାଣିରେ ଯେହେତୁ ମାଣ୍ଡିଆ ଚାଷ ହେଉଛି ତ କେମିତି ଚାଷ କରିହେବ?
Dr. Gajanan, can you respond? He is asking in the Hirakud command area where rice after rice is growing regularly. Can we take millet in those areas? In irrigated command area.
See, actually, I am not aware about the ecology, what is the scenarios, but we can always take the millets during the January end. We can start because I know that area has a lot of water, okay, because of that thing. Recently, we did some GIS survey and other thing. We understand proso millet could be done at the end of the January.
Maidan.
Thank you. ଆମର crop diversification जो irrigation command area रे ଚାଲିଛି ବର୍ତ୍ତମାନ ଓଡ଼ିଶା ରେ crop diversification program ଚାଲିଛି particularly irrigation command area ରେ ତେଣୁ ସେଇ ହୀରାକୁଦ command area ପାଇଁ ମଧ୍ୟ diversification plan ହେଉଛି ଚାଷୀ ମାନେ ହଠାତ୍ ଧାନକୁ ଛାଡ଼ିବା ପାଇଁ ଚାହୁଁନାହାନ୍ତି କିନ୍ତୁ ଧାନ କଲେ କ'ଣ କ୍ଷତି ହେଉଛି ତାଙ୍କୁ ବୁଝେଇ ଦିଆଯାଉଛି ତମେ ଯୋଉଟା କହିଲ ଭଲ କଥା କହିଲ ତେଣୁ ଆଗାମୀ ଦିନରେ ମଧ୍ୟ ତାଙ୍କୁ ବୁଝେଇବ ଯେ ଧାନ ପରେ ଧାନ ନ କରିକି ସାର୍ ଗୋଟେ ପ୍ରେଜେଣ୍ଟେସନ ଦେଉଥିଲେ ଆମେ ଅନ୍ୟ ଫସଲ ବି ମିଲେଟ୍ କରିପାରିବା କିନ୍ତୁ ସମସ୍ତେ ରାଜି ହେବା ଦରକାର କାରଣ ଗୋଟେ କେନାଲରେ ପାଣି ଗଲେ ଜଣେ ମିଲେଟ୍ କରିଥିବ ଜଣେ ଧାନ କରିଥିବ ହେବ ନାହିଁ ତାର ଧାନ ପାଇଁ ଅଧିକା ପାଣି ଦରକାର ତେଣୁ ପୁରା ସେ ଏରିଆର ଲୋକେ ଯଦି ଚାହିଁବେ ଗୋଟେ କେନାଲ ପାଖାପାଖି ଯେତେ ଚାହିଁବେ ସମସ୍ତେ କରିବେ ମିଲେଟ୍ ବା ଭେଜିଟେବୁଲ୍ କରିବେ କି ଡାଇଭର୍ସିଫାଇ କରିବେ ତାହେଲେ ହେଇପାରିବ ତେଣୁ ଏଇଟା ପାଇଁ ଆମର ଆୱାରନେସ୍ ଦରକାର।
ଥ୍ୟାଙ୍କ ୟୁ
ଥ୍ୟାଙ୍କ ୟୁ। ଯଥେଷ୍ଟ ବିଳମ୍ବ ହେଇଛି ଏ ସେସନକୁ ଆଉ ଆଗେଇବା ପୂର୍ବରୁ ମୁଁ ବର୍ତ୍ତମାନ ଅର୍ଗାନାଇଜେସନକୁ ରିକ୍ୱେଷ୍ଟ କରିବି ଆଜିର ଯେଉଁ ଗେଷ୍ଟ ଅଛନ୍ତି ତାଙ୍କୁ ଫେଲିସିଟେଟ୍ କରିବେ। ପ୍ରଥମେ ଅନୁରୋଧ କରିବି ଆମର ଆଜିର ଚେୟାରମ୍ୟାନ୍ ଅଲ୍ଲୁର ଭାଇସ୍ ଚାନ୍ସେଲର ଓୟୁଟିଙ୍କୁ ସମ୍ବୋଧିତ କରିବେ।
ସମସ୍ତେ କରତାଳି ଦେଇକି ଉତ୍ସାହିତ କରିବେ।
Co-chairman of the session, Dr. Hakayuki Agiwara.
ସମସ୍ତେ କରତାଳି ଦେଇକି ଉତ୍ସାହିତ କରିବେ।
Dr. B. Gangaya. Dr. Gajanan. Madam Krishna Beni. Miss Nagama, progressive farmer from Andhra Pradesh. Mrs. Chandrakala. Ashish Kumar achante? Sir, Ashish Kumar? No, sir. Ashish ji. Now I request the co-chairman of the session.
Sir, now I would like to request felicitate our moderator, sir.
That sir,
Ashish Kumar ji.
आइए।
Sir, you can felicitate Ashish Kumar.
Now I request the co-chairman of the session, Mr. Takayuki Agiwara, for his deliberation.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
It's already 2 o'clock. I'm sure that you are hungry and lunch is waiting maybe. So I'm gonna very short. Also, do you like millet? Yes or no? Yes. Do you like to cultivate more millet? Yes or no? Yes. Good. Okay. My role is the work with the government and then trying to increase the more incomes to the farmers, and then also to create an enabling environment for the farmers to develop better life. Okay, so we'll try our best to work with the government and then provide as much as possible knowledges, global practices, and all of that. I heard some of the difficulties among the farmers in cultivating the millet, and we will continue to address some difficulties among the farmers. I know that there are lots of the good practices done by the rural and tribal communities. So we will try to document as much as possible so that those good agriculture practices will be shared not only among the rural community but also the other areas, not just in Odisha but other states. And so the last, I thank you all presenters and including the farmers. And I'd like to thank all the farmers who continue producing the millet and conserving the biodiversity of the millet. And thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now it is the time to hear from our chairman of this session, Honorable Vice Chancellor, OUT Professor P.K. Raut, sir. Sir, please.
Thank you. Esteemed co-chair, learned speakers, moderator, and participants. A long range of participants starting from school children, developmental agencies, civil society organizations, farmers, scientists, and all others who have gathered here. This session is devoted for the theme farmer cultivation practices. I was going through the invitation letter that might have also reached you. It is having a tagline. The tagline says, ancient grain for modern challenges. When we say it, brand it as ancient grain, obviously it is only the farmers who have kept it alive till date. We congratulate them for their efforts in preserving not only the crop but also the practices. I had been to witness 5 presentations. All of them are very valuable and has definite implications so far as policy is concerned. And before going to that, let me acknowledge that Odisha has recognized and released 4 farmers varieties, which is definitely a tribute to the farmers of the state. The question I was asking for, what are the name of these varieties? The answer is now readily available with me. This goes not only with a tagline of farmers, but also with the tagline of the geography. It is Kundra Bati, Lakshmipur Kalia, Mayurbhanj Mami, and Gupteswar Bharati. These are the 4 varieties that our farmers have been growing sustainably and have been able to preserve, and we released it, government released it in association with Odisha University of Agriculture and Technology, your varieties. Again, we acknowledge the efforts for the society, for the crop, and for taking the things ahead. Giving a look to each sub-thematic area and the key takeaway, let me talk of the first presentation by Mr. Fernandez from FAO on indigenous tribal farming. And we understand that Odisha is a land of tribals, not only Odisha, the entire eastern India comprising of Odisha, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, and taking us to northeastern states even. But the take-home message, as I learned from Dr. Fernandez, is that if we try to manipulate more, then the crop may face a genetic breakup. अगर उसमें हम ज़्यादा मोड़ तोड़ करेंगे, ये एंशिएंट क्रॉप है, फार्मर्स क्रॉप है, अगर उसमें हम ज़्यादा मोड़ तोड़ करेंगे, हो सकता है the crop genetic makeup may fail. So that is perhaps a word of caution to be noted by all of us, and this is in line with why we are discussing farmers cultivation practices. Coming to the next one, presentation by Dr. Gangaya on rice fallow management. Of course, the point that was to be noted is we need to adhere to mechanized harvesting of rice followed by mechanized sowing of succeeding millet crops. That is a good message. But one thing that puzzled me with the presentation and deliberation of Dr. Gangaya, the use of herbicides. Of course, very carefully he has added restricted use of herbicides, but I think we have other options too. If we look back to our traditional system, crop rotation, intercropping and mixed cropping, it has a lot of strength so far as weed management or smothering is concerned. Better we can think of these cultural aspects rather than adhering to or resorting to chemical weed management practices. The third presentation by Dr. Gajanan from ICRISAT on comparative approaches India and Africa. The learning point is how we can have a landscape-based nutrient management. There cannot be a single prescription. हमें गोटे हम लोग जैसे एक प्रिस्क्रिप्शन पूरा देश के लिए नहीं दे पाएंगे. हर एक जगह में, हर एक कम्युनिटी में अपना अपना तरीका है, अपना अपना सिचुएशन है. उसी सिचुएशन के आधार पर हम न्यूट्रिएंट मैनेजमेंट कर पाएंगे. इससे क्या है कि उससे ज़्यादा मोड़ तोड़ नहीं होगा और क्रॉप को अच्छा सिचुएशन में और बेस्ट यील्ड के लिए हम बेस्ट प्रैक्टिसेस के अंदर बेस्ट यील्ड के लिए हम क्रॉप को मध्य भी फायदा मिलेगा. मैडम कृष्णा बेनी also presented the traditional farmer cultivation practices. She has tried to put lot of insights to her experience, the long journey. I hope all our efforts need to protect the crops, the heritage crop of India, starting with from a state or from the nation. Now we have reached in the entire globe. Definitely a great journey and a successful journey. So मैं कल कहाँ सुना millet matters. Again I close millet matters. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now I request Mr. Ashish Kumar from FAO for a formal vote of thanks.
Vote of thanks, can I do from here only or should I come?
You can tell from there.
Myself, Ashish Kumar from Food and Agriculture Organization.
एक minute, Ashish ji. Before giving vote of thanks, I would like to ask Banishri ma'am to felicitate our today's moderator, Srijukta Prasanjit Mishra sir. Photographer.
Sir, please.
Myself, Ashish Kumar, working with Food and Agriculture Organization, and at this moment it gives me immense pleasure for sharing the responsibility of Thanksgiving. We, on behalf of Department of Agriculture and Farmers Empowerment, Odisha Millet Mission and Food and Agriculture Organization, extend our sincere thanks and express gratitude to the chair, co-chair, all the eminent speakers of this session for a very fruitful, meaningful and helpful deliberations. At the same time, we would like to thank our farmers brothers, अपने किसान भाई बहनों को भी धन्यवाद देना चाहते हैं कि उन्होंने इस सेशन के आयोजन में बहुत ही सक्रिय सहयोग किया और सक्रिय रूप से प्रतिभाग किया. And at the same time, we also thankful to audience for their patience learning and the organizers for arranging and organizing a very wonderful session and in a very excellent manner. Thank you. Dhanyavad. Namaskar.
वर्तमान सर्वशेष अध्यक्ष अनुमति नहीं ये सेशन रो समाप्ति घोषणा करुछि.
धन्यवाद.
तंकु लंच मध्याह्न भोजन पे निमंत्रण.
ये नहीं